Hey guys, what's going on? Pipo here with another video. This week I want to show you guys how to create and use macros, and I'm gonna hook you guys up with some really cool macros. A lot of people might be turned off by the idea of using macros because they see all the coding involved and all the weird text stuff that you need to, but I'm gonna take you guys step by step on creating your first macro and then hook you guys up with the code for the macros that I'm gonna talk about, so you can just copy and paste them and use them. Okay, so let's get started. To create a macro is really simple. Just hit escape to open up your game menu, go to macros, and then hit new macro. Choose a picture for it, whatever you like, and then give it a name. So I'm gonna call this one macro. Okay, then in here you just type the command that you want that macro to pull off. So I'm gonna type macro right here, and that's it. You're done. You created your first macro. Now I drag this to my action bar down here, and this is just a simple macro for people that like to be super efficient like me. So instead of having to open the menu and go into the macro page, I can now just click this macro and it opens up the menu instantly. So that's the basic idea of macros. They allow you to do tasks with just the click of a button, like multiple tasks. Okay, now I'm gonna hook you guys up with some sick macros. Let's get started, yo. Okay, I wanna start off with a simple and fun macro that is the castrandom macro. You can use it for pretty much anything, and it does exactly what you think it would do. It casts random from a spell of list that you add. So a fun thing to do with that macro is to create a random mount macro. So you can see here, you just type in cast random and then type in all the names of your mounts, and then once you use it, you get a random mount. Again, all these macros and the code are gonna be in the description. However, for this macro to work, you have to type the names of the mounts that you want to be in it. So for example, there's some really big mounts that I didn't want to add to this macro, so I just didn't add the name for it. Now a quick tip, if you want to make this macro and you don't want to type the name of every single mount that you have, is you can simply go to your macro page, and instead of typing out the name, by the way, the names have to be separated by a comma. Instead of typing out the whole name, you can actually just open your spellbook, go to mounts, and then just shift click on the mounts that you want. So let's say you want this one as well, the mammoth, and this one, and you can see that the names pop up over here. But I don't want that mammoth or anything on my macro, so I just take it off. So there you go, guys, random mounts. Now you can be rocking all your mounts in BGs and actually show them off and see them. I think it's pretty sweet. Right, next macro, I'm gonna hook you guys up right here. This macro takes the random macro to the next level. Now the code for this one is really crazy looking, so I'm not gonna go over it or explain it, but I will leave it in the description below like I said. But we'll call this the Pokemon macro, so look for the Pokemon macro in the description below for the code. And what this does is this little cat thing right here is when I click it, it summons one of my pets and it says the name of it, and it says I choose you, and it just keeps picking a random one and says the right name. And I added a cheer emote at the end just for fun, so as you can see, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy this macro. And I don't know, this might be cool when they implement the Pokemon system in a MOP.
By the light of the moon, hail to the night. By the light of the moon.
The next macro I want to talk about is another efficiency macro. What it does is basically switch my spec and my gear to the respective gear. So I'll show you guys. It's this one right here, this blue and skin colored one. I click it, it activates my secondary spec and it switches my gear to my secondary spec gear. Let me show you with the character pane open. So you can see it switched me to my monkey gear and it's switching my spec. So for people like me who like to be super efficient about everything they do, you're gonna love this macro, super useful. I'm gonna leave you guys with one of my favorite macros. I don't really have a name for it, it's just a super awesome bag sorting and gold making and grade reading macro. I'll just show you guys what it does. Basically, when you have great trash in your bags that you pick up from questing or dungeons or whatever it is, you pick up trash everywhere in this game. Instead of having to click each one to sell it one by one, all I have to do is click on my macro and bam, I sell everything. It shows me what I sold and how much gold I made, and that's it. How awesome is that? I hope you guys enjoyed this intro to macros. If you did, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out new stuff every week, and I encourage you guys to go do some research on macros. There are tons of useful macros out there, so check them out. And once again, this has been Pipo, and I hope you enjoyed this video.
De Alto Cero voy para Marcané, llego a Cuesta voy para